Que Dios me los bendiga.
We are here at Founders MCC Church in Los Angeles, California, and it is my honor and pleasure to introduce you to the two pastors at Founders Metropolitan Community Church, and that would be the Reverend Keith Mozingo and the Reverend Alejandro Escoto, who I both known for a long, long time. Thank you guys for doing this. We were around together after Katrina also.
And after Hurricane Katrina, in fact, how that connects with this trip that you're taking. I was on staff here at the church. I wasn't the senior pastor then. And we did something called the Caravan of Hope, where we took a group of people and went to New Orleans and worked there. We stayed 2 weeks doing animal rescue and taking supplies to people and doing anything that we could. And just seeing the sheer devastation throughout New Orleans was just heart-wrenching. Because of bureaucracy at the time, there was just so much red tape to get through that people couldn't get the supplies that they needed. People couldn't get anything. In fact, there were people stuck on bridges that couldn't go anywhere. There was no power, there were no gas stations open, there were no banks open, there was nothing open. There were some people stuck in their roofs, you know. So my heart, when they were talking about Puerto Rico, it was gonna hit Puerto Rico, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be even worse, because at least the people in New Orleans, the ones that started at least, could get away,
they could
keep going north. But there was nowhere for the people in Puerto Rico to go.
They couldn't fly out, and
no,
what happened?
It was just sitting there.
How do you feel about the attention that that has been lacking on Puerto Rico from this country and this government?
Right. Well, it's frustrating, and the reality is that, you know, people often say we can only do what we can do, but one person can say that. But when you've got 2, 3, 4, then what you can do is real. And so I really appreciate that you're doing this, and I know in the work that I do across the border, which isn't too far from here.
Right.
But I've also gone to Guatemala and reached out to HIV/AIDS hospices. And so it just takes a little bit caring, and it's obvious that this country, they have helped, but because of the political mess, and because people are great at talking and not great at doing, we are in the mess that we're in. And so it really speaks highly of me, especially when people care enough to go there, thousands of miles away, and try to do something. And this is probably just the first step of what I hope will be many steps.
Yeah.
Because it takes one act of kindness to inspire others.
Right, it's the act. I thought, I know that Lin-Manuel Miranda, he went there and did $1 million with the Hamilton performance there. You know, ours is a drop in the bucket, but it's an action.
It's an action, which we can only hope. And so, I have friends who to this day continue to write what the state of the condition of their homes is, or how their mothers are living. So when the hurricane hit some time ago, and friends like, what are we going to do? And so I knew that the denomination had done something, so we tried to unite forces. But then it gets to a point where your hands are tied until somebody makes that path possible. And so you have allowed that path to be made possible, and it's and it may seem like a drop in the bucket, but the reality is that drop will affect many, many people. You know, and
the waves that it hits, when you drop in the water.
Yes, the whole ripple effect, most definitely. So we can only hope that the ripple effects, touch human hearts.
I'm happy to announce that as of last Sunday, we raised $1,185 so far for our Puerto Rico missions project. Yeah. And I'm even happier to let you know I learned that they surpassed their $5,000 goal. So Adrian, Christian, here. Adrian, would you stand up? And we're also joining the Reverend Jose Albert Rivera at ICM Cristocentrica.
What would you like to say to Reverend Albert in Rivera in Mayagüez and the church, the ICM Cristocentrica, the people over there? What would you like to share with them?
Well, Reverendo Alberto, la esperanza está viva. Lo que empezó como una invitación para cantar y para unir la gente a través del canto, resultó en una mano amiga. Y así es como empieza. ¿Quién iba a saber que una invitación para cantar iba a resultar en una obra de bondad? Y así es como Dios trabaja. Yo sé que ustedes no han perdido la esperanza. Nos mantenemos unidos a través de la distancia. Y la oración es nuestro poder para seguir cruzando las fronteras, porque la distancia nos mantiene aparte físicamente, pero el Espíritu nos une, y es ese Espíritu que nos permite hacer los cambios que estamos buscando. Estamos contigo. Lamentablemente yo no puedo ir físicamente, pero un día les voy a caer. Que Dios me bendiga.
Terrific. And what would you like to let the people know? And by the way, I want to publicly thank you for allowing Founders Church to be a vessel, to be a channel in which we were able to transfer money, do the fundraiser on Facebook, and bring awareness to the people by just our communication, because each person that communicated was an endorsement, and as each person grew, to me, credibility grew. It didn't just look like, okay, just one guy trying to do something.
Right.
Suddenly,
Right.
we all got behind it.
Right.
And that was what was amazing to me. That's why I feel really humbled about it. What would you like to share with the church over there?
Just want to tell you that you are in our hearts, that you are our sisters, you're our brothers, you are our family. And number one, I'm so sorry for what you're going through. I have been through it. I lost almost everything, and almost everything that I owned, important papers, pictures, you know, a lot of my history went out the door and was put on a curb. So I know what it feels like. I've been there. But I also want you to know that God took me through it. God got me through it. And if you can just keep breathing, if you can just keep, even those days you don't think you can make it another day, that God somehow brings new life and brings someone in. Not just this, even though this is a step. God always has someone there. And just keep remembering that while you may be a long ways from us in miles, many of us have never met face to face. We may not ever, who knows? But you're still our family.
Absolutely.
And we love you from here.
Well, thank you both for taking the moment. I love you both, and thank you, and God bless.
Thank you.
5 of us from Los Angeles are going to join the church in Puerto Rico, the ICM Cristocentrica, along with the Reverend Jose Albert Rivera in Mayagüez, Puerto Rico, and we're actually going to put up steel panels onto the rooftops ourselves. We're not taking a single penny from your donation dollars. And we're looking forward to letting you know on how you made the difference. Please click on the link and donate now.